It's funny because I've got an instant smile. When I saw the title of this reading, the first instant that came through was a smile. And you can call it a wicked smile. I will own up to that. But the smugness was very much, is your ex comparing you to the current? And of course they are. That's why I have the smile, because of course your ex is comparing you to their current. Why are they doing that? So let me clarify. This does not specify that the ex will come back for you. So please do not hold on to that energy of, and I kind of feel you've moved on anyway. So you might just be looking at this because you want to feel good, because it's good to gloat, good to know that they are getting their karma, good to know that they saw or see yourself, your worth, which is what they didn't acknowledge. They took you for granted. So they're seeing and feeling all of these things with their ex, because remember, the connection that you guys had, the words out of the universe, so that translates to twin flame, soulmate, deep connection, maybe even telepathic, but an emotional connection, an energy connection. Oh my God, it's fitting so many tick boxes. So why would they let you go? Because they're stupid? Because they are a coward? Because they were fearful? Because they could not handle your light and what you were bringing to the table, which again wasn't, anything extraordinary, but for them, it was, because it meant that they had to work on themselves in order to be that person with you or for you, and they were not willing to do that. So, wow, I've just had a bunch of cards fall out and I was just beginning my shuffle. So let's have a little bit of a giggle, a little bit of an ego boost, and see what it is they're comparing and how they are comparing. Again, I am not, as a coach, a big fan of comparing, yourself to people or your lives or stuff like that. But we are going to put this into the label of a fun reading so that we can have that ego boost. We can gloat, and because where I'm sensing your energy, you are on the cusp of somebody new coming in, or you've already moved on, whether that's moved on into another relationship with somebody far greater, or whether that's just moved on, you're happy in yourself and your life, then yeah, you've kind of, let go. Then it's like, why am I here listening to this reading if I've done all of those things? Because we are human beings, and curiosity is always gets the better of us and is a good thing. So what is it that they're comparing? Let's get into the gossip. Let's get into the chatter. So what they're comparing, as I said, is that they took you for granted, because the current person they're with is not dealing with the shit that maybe you allowed because of the connection you had, because you knew you took care of their needs. So example, you made them a cup of tea when you knew they were working hard, they were busy. Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't do it for you, but we're just giving examples, hypothetical or real, that you would make them that cup of tea. You would take that cup of tea to them. You know that they're engrossed. You would make sure that their favorite things were in the fridge, or whatever it is. There was the little things that didn't need to be spoken about. And I have another yawn. Oh my God, I do apologize. That just feels like energy needing to release, and it's probably relating to these readings. Okay, so you gave them all of that hope. You gave them this realization. And the fact that they are comparing is just unbelievable, because this person that they're currently with is not taking their bullshit. This person that they're with is not being a mothering energy, nurturing, sorry, I should use the word nurturing, but maybe mothering was what you might have been doing, hence why they took you for granted. And that's a very fine line when it comes to relationships, of not kind of becoming their mother and dealing with all of their crap and just putting up with it, but being an equal partner, which is actually calling them up on their shit, just as they would call you up as well. So they're definitely comparing how gracious you were, how loving you were, how you took care of their needs, how nurturing you were, how, this is their words, so I keep on stopping myself, how life was more peaceful and easy because you took care of so much that they didn't even think about. And that's how in tune you were to them. This new person, not saying that they're evil or, you know, horrible or anything, but they're just not allowing themselves to be taken for granted to that level. So this person, your ex, is definitely missing you. They do know that they can never come back because the doorway is closed, and they know that they had a really good, deep friendship and they let go of somebody really good. Are they kicking themselves? 100%. But equally, as I said, they cannot fully match your light now because you've moved on. You were ahead of them in terms of growth, in terms of, you know, other things. And that's what intimidated them. That's basically what caused the self-sabotaging, because they were not working on themselves. They were not working on raising their confidence, their self-worth, and releasing the self-sabotaging behaviors. Sorry, I was trying to get the word out, behaviors that caused all of this. So hence this other person coming in, because they are more compatible in the sense of the level and thinking, but you've moved way beyond your ex ever catching up with you. And will they live in regret? 100%. Always. Will they look out for you on social media and be curious all their life? Because they want the best for you, regardless of, you know, the comparison, regardless of the failure that they caused in this. There was genuine connection, there was genuine love, genuine respect. They want the best for you equally. I'm sure you do for them as well. And yeah, but that is their cross to bear, because they were the ones that caused this. So if this reading put a little bit of a smile or answered some unanswered questions, then let me know how this reading has helped you, what it has given you in terms of, you know, building that self-worth and confidence. And maybe it's even allowing yourself to shut the door completely on your ex. And remember, if you would like to book a more detailed one-to-one reading, then all the links are in my bio, but also hop along to our shop. And also remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, because without that, I don't get to see you and you don't get to see me, and that would be a loss for me. But thank you so much for being part of this channel. And with everything said, I'll see you next time.